They say some people are meant to stay, while others are meant to leave. But Capricorns, they never truly leave. Even when they're physically absent, their essence lingers in your mind like the persistent scent of sandalwood, subtle yet impossible to ignore. Welcome to the cosmic exploration of those born under the most resilient sign of the zodiac, the sign that climbs steadily upward no matter how steep life's mountains become. The Capricorn energy isn't loud or demanding of attention. It doesn't announce itself with fireworks or dramatic entrances. Instead, it seeps into your consciousness gradually, like winter frost, forming intricate patterns on glass. Beautiful in its precision, mesmerizing in its quiet strength. This is precisely why we're diving deep into the 12 reasons these earthbound mystics become permanent fixtures in our memories. Think about the Capricorns who have crossed your path. Perhaps it was that colleague whose work ethic silently transformed your own approach to challenges. Or maybe it was the Capricorn friend who remembered your coffee preference from a single casual mention 3 years ago. These seemingly small moments accumulate like sedimentary layers, forming something solid and enduring in your psyche. The Capricorn paradox is what makes them truly unforgettable. They embody contradictions that shouldn't coexist, yet somehow blend seamlessly within their nature. They are pragmatic dreamers, ambitious yet patient, traditional while surprisingly innovative. Just when you think you've categorized them neatly, they reveal another facet that forces you to reconsider everything you thought you knew. This constant rediscovery keeps them fresh in memory, a puzzle your mind never quite finishes solving. There's something almost mythological about the Capricorn presence. Like ancient mountains that have witnessed centuries unfold, they stand as silent observers, collecting wisdom through experience rather than impulsive adventures. Their eyes often carry that distinct look, a gentle weariness that suggests they've seen beyond the veil of ordinary existence. It's a look that haunts you long after your last encounter, making you wonder what depths lie beneath their measured exterior. The cosmic fingerprint of Saturn, their ruling planet, marks every Capricorn interaction with the weight of time and responsibility. While other signs might leave impressions based on intensity or passion, Capricorns leave their mark through consistency and reliability, qualities that become increasingly rare and therefore increasingly valuable in our fast-paced, ever-changing world. What makes the Capricorn truly unforgettable isn't just who they are, but how they make you feel about yourself. In their presence, you sense the potential for your own growth, the possibility of becoming more disciplined, more authentic, more aligned with your purpose. They don't inspire through motivational speeches or excessive encouragement. Rather, they inspire through example, through living their values so completely that you can't help but examine your own. The Capricorn memory etches itself into your consciousness not just because of their remarkable qualities, but because of how those qualities interact with your own journey. They become reference points, standards against which you unconsciously measure certain aspects of life long after they've gone. That's the true power of their unforgettable nature. As we navigate through the zodiac landscape, each sign offers its unique gifts, but there's something particularly enduring about the Capricorn imprint. Their footsteps don't wash away with the first rain. They become part of the terrain, altering how you navigate your own path forward. Let's delve deeper into understanding why these earth sign natives become permanent residents in our mental and emotional landscapes. What specific qualities transform ordinary interactions into indelible memories? What aspects of their being continue to influence us long after physical proximity has ended? The first 3 reasons reveal the foundation of their unforgettable presence, qualities so fundamental to their nature that they become inseparable from how we remember them, beginning with their extraordinary determination that turns the impossible into merely another summit waiting to be conquered. The first reason, unwavering determination. The unwavering determination of a Capricorn isn't simply about persistence. It's a transformative force that reshapes reality itself. When a Capricorn fixes their gaze upon a goal, something extraordinary happens in the atmosphere around them. The air becomes charged with possibility, not through dramatic declarations or passionate outbursts, but through the quiet, steady rhythm of their unwavering effort. Their determination doesn't announce itself. It proves itself day after day, choice after choice, creating a cumulative effect that eventually becomes undeniable. What makes this determination truly unforgettable is its peculiar nature. Unlike the fiery bursts of Aries' ambition or the adaptable drive of Gemini, Capricorn determination possesses a geological quality. It moves with the patience of tectonic plates, slowly but with enough force to raise mountains from flat plains. You witness someone continuing forward when all logical reasons to stop have presented themselves, and this image burns itself into your memory because it defies our understanding of human limitation. Remember that project everyone said was impossible? The Capricorn in your life probably nodded politely at the doubts, then proceeded to accomplish it anyway. Not overnight in some blaze of glory, but through methodical, incremental progress that seemed unremarkable until suddenly the impossible stood completed. Their determination doesn't seek validation or applause. It operates from an internal compass calibrated to their own standards of excellence, which invariably exceed what others would consider good enough. This quality becomes tattooed on your memory because it challenges your own relationship with obstacles. After witnessing a Capricorn's determination, you find yourself unconsciously measuring your own resolve against theirs. What would the Capricorn do? Becomes an intrusive thought when you face your own seemingly immovable barriers. Their example lingers as both inspiration and gentle indictment, compelling you to examine whether you've truly exhausted all possibilities or merely convinced yourself that you have. The most remarkable aspect of their determination is that it rarely presents as stubbornness, though at its core, a formidable stubbornness certainly exists. Instead, it manifests as strategic persistence, knowing when to push forward directly, when to find alternative routes, when to wait for conditions to change, but never ever abandoning the ultimate objective. This sophisticated relationship with obstacles becomes a masterclass in achievement that you carry with you long after they've moved on to their next summit. The second reason, quiet confidence. The quiet confidence of a Capricorn operates like gravity, an invisible force that organizes everything in its proximity without drawing attention to itself. Unlike the charismatic confidence of a Leo that actively pulls focus, or the intellectual assurance of an Aquarius that challenges conventions, Capricorn confidence simply exists as an undeniable fact, requiring neither validation nor spotlight to maintain its power. This quiet confidence reveals itself not in what they say, but in the space they allow between their words. It's present in how they listen without interruption, how they consider before responding, how they refrain from overselling their capabilities or defending their credentials. They don't feel compelled to convince others of their competence. They simply demonstrate it when the moment requires, allowing results to speak with an eloquence that words never could. What makes this quality so memorable is its rarity in a world where confidence is increasingly conflated with volume. The Capricorn stands as a reminder of an older understanding of self-assurance, one built on foundation rather than facade. Their confidence isn't reactive to external circumstances. It remains constant regardless of whether they receive recognition or face criticism, creating a sense of psychological safety for those in their orbit. You find yourself remembering this quality years later when surrounded by louder displays of self-belief that somehow leave you unconvinced. The Capricorn standard of quiet confidence becomes the metric against which you unconsciously measure all others, often finding them wanting in comparison. This happens because their confidence wasn't a performance for your benefit, but an authentic expression of their relationship with their own capabilities. The mountain doesn't announce its height, it simply is. Similarly, the Capricorn doesn't broadcast their confidence, they embody it. This embodiment creates a presence that remains with you long after other more demonstrative personalities have faded from memory. The third reason, the rare, genuine smile. The genuine smile of a Capricorn contains a peculiar magic precisely because of its scarcity. When most people smile, the expression may be pleasant but ultimately forgettable, a social currency exchanged without much thought. But when a typically reserved Capricorn allows their serious demeanor to crack open, revealing genuine joy or amusement, the effect is similar to witnessing a rare astronomical event, something precious specifically because it cannot be summoned on command or experienced on schedule. Their smile contains multitudes, layers of meaning beyond simple happiness. There's often a hint of surprise, as though they themselves didn't expect to be moved to such expression. There's authenticity that cannot be manufactured, creating an unspoken acknowledgement that you've been granted access to something they don't share indiscriminately. Most distinctively, there's often a touch of vulnerability that contrasts so dramatically with their usual self-contained presentation that it creates an almost jarring yet beautiful dissonance. What makes this smile unforgettable is the implicit trust it represents. Capricorns are naturally protective of their inner worlds, conscious of maintaining the dignity and composure that allows them to navigate life's challenges effectively. When they smile genuinely, they momentarily lower this protection, creating an intimacy that feels earned rather than freely given. The psychological impact of being allowed in creates a memory that imprints itself far more deeply than more casual, frequent expressions of happiness ever could. You find yourself recalling this smile during unexpected moments, perhaps while driving alone or waiting in line years later, and experiencing an echo of the warmth it originally generated. The memory retains its potency because it represented a genuine connection that transcended social performance. In a world increasingly filled with carefully curated expressions designed for maximum likability, the rare authenticity of a Capricorn smile becomes a standard of genuineness against which other interactions are unconsciously measured. This smile holds another secret to its memorability. It typically emerges not for broad, obvious humor or expected moments of celebration, but for subtle observations, understated wit, or accomplishments that others might overlook. When you share such a moment with a Capricorn, you're not just witnessing their happiness, you're being given insight into what they truly value, what genuinely moves them beneath their practical exterior. This glimpse into their inner hierarchy of meaning creates a sense of privileged understanding that remains with you long after the smile itself has faded. The paradox of the Capricorn smile is that its rarity doesn't indicate an absence of joy, but rather a different relationship with joy, one that values depth over frequency, authenticity over performance, and private meaning over public display. When you experience this smile directed toward you, you're not just seeing happiness, you're being trusted with a momentary revelation of their carefully guarded inner light. The fourth reason, practical wisdom. When a Capricorn offers you advice, something extraordinary happens, something fundamentally different from the well-meaning guidance others provide. Their words don't float in the realm of theoretical ideals or wishful thinking. Instead, they hand you something solid, something you can actually hold on to when the ground beneath you feels uncertain. This practical wisdom becomes unforgettable because, unlike most advice that evaporates upon contact with reality, Capricorn guidance actually works. The distinguishing quality of their wisdom lies in its foundation, built not on what should be true in an ideal world, but on what is true in the world we actually inhabit. They've walked difficult paths themselves, fallen into pitfalls, encountered obstacles, and instead of merely surviving these experiences, they've cataloged them meticulously, extracting actionable insights that can be transferred to others. Their wisdom doesn't require perfect circumstances to be effective. It was forged specifically for imperfect ones. You find yourself returning to their advice years later, often in moments of crisis or decision. While other guidance has faded or proven impractical, the Capricorn's words retain their relevance and utility. This happens because they rarely offer universal platitudes. Instead, they tailor their wisdom to you specifically, to your strengths, your weaknesses, your particular situation. They don't tell you what works generally. They tell you what will work for you, creating advice that feels almost prescient in its applicability to future challenges you couldn't have anticipated when they first shared it. What makes their wisdom particularly unforgettable is the compassionate pragmatism with which it's delivered. A Capricorn doesn't sugarcoat difficult truths or shield you from necessary realizations, but neither do they deliver harsh realities without also providing practical pathways forward. This balanced approach creates a unique emotional experience. You feel simultaneously seen in your struggles and empowered to overcome them. This combination etches itself into memory because it satisfies two fundamental human needs: understanding and agency. The Capricorn's practical wisdom often becomes the foundation upon which you build crucial decisions, sometimes without consciously realizing the source of your approach. Years later, you might find yourself navigating a complex situation with surprising effectiveness, only to realize you're applying principles first articulated by the Capricorn, who once took the time to share their hard-won insights. Their influence extends far beyond the moment of conversation, becoming integrated into your own decision-making framework. The fifth reason, earned loyalty. The loyalty of a Capricorn isn't a default setting or an easily won prize. It stands as one of life's genuine achievements, something earned through consistent demonstration of your own integrity, reliability, and authenticity. This makes their loyalty unforgettable because, unlike connections formed through convenience or circumstance, a bond with a Capricorn represents a meaningful evaluation of your character. Their loyalty feels valuable precisely because it isn't dispensed indiscriminately. When a typically reserved and self-sufficient Capricorn decides you're worthy of their loyalty, something fundamental shifts in the relationship. Invisible but formidable walls come down, revealing a fierce protectiveness and commitment that many wouldn't suspect exists beneath their composed exterior. This transformation creates a distinct before and after in your connection, a threshold crossed that alters the nature of your relationship in ways that remain significant for years, sometimes decades. What makes this loyalty particularly memorable is its unwavering consistency across changing circumstances. While others might express intense loyalty during good times but disappear during challenges, the Capricorn's commitment often strengthens when conditions deteriorate. They view loyalty not as a fair weather sentiment, but as a principle most relevant precisely when it's difficult to maintain. This steadfastness creates a profound sense of security that becomes apparent only when contrasted with the more conditional support often found elsewhere. The Capricorn's loyalty is unforgettable because it operates on multiple levels simultaneously: practical, emotional, and ethical. On the practical level, they become someone you can genuinely count on for tangible support. Emotionally, they create a safe harbor where you're accepted without performance requirements. Ethically, they refuse to participate in or tolerate betrayals of trust, even when social pressure might incentivize compromise. This multidimensional loyalty creates a comprehensive sense of being truly seen and valued that remains a reference point long after other connections have faded. Perhaps most distinctively, their loyalty isn't just about what they do. It's about what they refuse to do. They won't engage in gossip about you. They won't sacrifice your interests for personal advantage. They won't abandon principles when loyalty becomes inconvenient. These boundaries become apparent through observation of their behavior toward others within their trusted circle, creating an unspoken but powerful understanding that you occupy a protected space in their life. This knowledge becomes internalized as a rare form of emotional security that remains with you even during periods of separation. The sixth reason, surprising dry humor. Just when you filed the Capricorn in the category of serious practical people, they deliver a perfectly timed observation so incisive, so unexpectedly humorous, that it completely recalibrates your understanding of who they are. This surprising dry humor becomes unforgettable precisely because it emerges from a context where it isn't anticipated, creating a delightful cognitive dissonance that etches the moment into memory. Their humor possesses a distinctive character, often delivered with such a straight face that you might initially question whether they intended to be funny at all. It frequently combines keen observation with unexpected timing, revealing that beneath their composed exterior lies a mind that notices everything, including the absurdities and ironies that others miss. This humor doesn't announce itself with setup and punchline. It arrives as understated commentary that somehow crystallizes a truth you'd sensed but couldn't articulate. What makes their humor particularly memorable is how it reveals the complexity of their inner landscape. In those moments of unexpected wit, you glimpse the playful spirit that exists alongside their discipline and practicality, not in contradiction to these qualities, but in sophisticated balance with them. This revelation of complexity transforms your understanding of them from a two-dimensional stereotype into a multifaceted individual whose depths you haven't fully explored. The surprise of this discovery ensures its place in your long-term memory. Their humor often contains a refreshing honesty that cuts through social pretense without being deliberately cruel. They may articulate exactly what everyone is thinking, but no one else will say, creating moments of shared recognition that forge connection through the acknowledgement of unspoken truths. These moments of authentic communion through humor create emotional bookmarks that remain accessible even years later, often bringing a smile when recalled. Perhaps most distinctively, Capricorn humor frequently emerges during challenging situations, an unexpected gift of perspective when tensions are high or problems seem insurmountable. This timing creates a powerful association between their humor and emotional relief, between their presence and the ability to find balance even in difficulty. This association ensures that their memory becomes linked not just with respect or admiration, but with the fundamental human experience of finding joy within challenge, an association that guarantees their permanent place in your mental landscape. The Capricorn's surprising dry humor serves as a reminder that depth of character isn't found in absence of lightness, but in the sophisticated integration of seemingly opposite qualities. Their ability to embody both gravitas and playfulness, discipline and spontaneity, careful consideration and quick wit creates a complex impression that resists simplification. This complexity ensures they cannot be easily categorized and therefore cannot be easily forgotten. The seventh reason, remembering the smallest details. In a world where selective attention has become the norm, where people half listen while formulating their next statement, the Capricorn's capacity for detailed remembrance stands as a quiet revolution. They don't just hear your words, they absorb them, catalog them, and integrate them into their understanding of who you are. This remarkable attention to the smallest details about those they care for creates an experience so uncommon that it becomes impossible to forget. Consider the moment when a Capricorn remembers something you mentioned in passing months or even years ago. Your preference for a specific tea blend, a childhood dream you briefly described, the name of your first pet, or that author whose work you admired. The emotional impact of this recall extends far beyond the simple pleasure of being remembered. It creates a profound sense of being truly seen. In a culture where visibility often feels conditional and fleeting, what makes this quality particularly unforgettable is its consistency across time and circumstance. Their detailed remembrance isn't reserved for special occasions or deployed strategically for effect. It operates as an ongoing practice, a fundamental way of moving through the relationships that demonstrates, without grand declarations, that you matter enough to remember. This consistency transforms individual instances of recall into a pattern that becomes part of how you understand your relationship with them. The Capricorn's detailed memory serves an additional function that embeds them permanently in your consciousness. It creates a living archive of your own history. Through their recollections, they sometimes preserve aspects of your story that you yourself have forgotten or relegated to the background. In conversations years later, they might reference an ambition you once held, a challenge you overcame, or a joy you experienced, effectively returning these pieces of yourself to your conscious awareness. This restoration of your own narrative creates a unique form of intimacy that remains significant long after other connections have faded. Perhaps most remarkably, their detailed remembrance typically operates without expectation of reciprocity or recognition. A Capricorn rarely announces what they've remembered or seeks acknowledgement for their attentiveness. Instead, they simply incorporate these details into their interactions with you, creating seamless moments where you suddenly realize you've been held in memory with a precision that most people reserve only for their own experiences. This unassuming quality ensures that when you do notice their remarkable recall, the impact is all the more powerful for being discovered rather than displayed. The eighth reason, methodical approach to life. The Capricorn's methodical approach to life creates something extraordinary in today's culture of constant disruption and improvisation, a sense of reliable structure that becomes a foundation others unconsciously depend upon. Their consistency isn't merely about predictability. It's about creating environments where growth, trust, and genuine progress become possible because certain fundamental elements remain stable. What makes this methodical nature unforgettable is how it transforms chaos into order, not through rigid control, but through patient, systematic engagement with reality as it exists. The Capricorn doesn't fight against the natural complexity of life. They develop systems and approaches that acknowledge complexity while making it navigable. This capacity becomes particularly apparent during periods of upheaval when their steady hand and methodical thinking create islands of stability that others gratefully cling to. Their methodical approach extends beyond practical matters into how they build and maintain relationships. They don't rush into connections or make grandiose promises. Instead, they establish clear patterns of reliability, showing up consistently, fulfilling commitments without drama, and gradually increasing investment as trust is verified through experience. This systematic relational style creates a distinctive emotional security that becomes apparent only when contrasted with the more volatile connections often found elsewhere. You may not fully appreciate this quality until experiencing its absence, when the Capricorn is no longer present to provide their stabilizing influence. Suddenly, the underlying structure they maintained becomes visible through its collapse, revealing how much you had come to depend on their methodical presence. This realization often occurs during transitions, when they change jobs, move away, or otherwise exit a shared environment, creating a period of adjustment that highlights just how significant their structural contributions had been. What makes their methodical approach particularly memorable is how it often transforms those around them. Without explicit instruction, those in proximity to a Capricorn frequently find themselves adopting more systematic approaches to their own challenges. This influence operates through example rather than coercion, creating a subtle but lasting impact on others' problem-solving strategies long after direct contact has ended. Years later, when facing a complex situation, you might find yourself unconsciously applying organizational principles first observed in your Capricorn associate. The ninth reason, unwavering integrity. In an age where principles are often treated as flexible guidelines to be adjusted when inconvenient, the Capricorn's unwavering integrity stands as a remarkable anomaly. Their commitment to maintaining ethical standards, regardless of personal cost or social pressure, creates an impression so distinct that it becomes permanently etched in memory, serving as a reference point against which all other claims of integrity are measured. What makes their integrity particularly unforgettable is its consistency across contexts. The Capricorn doesn't maintain different ethical standards for different environments or relationships. The same core principles that guide their professional decisions inform their personal interactions, creating a unified character that feels increasingly rare in a world of compartmentalized ethics. This consistency creates a sense of psychological safety. You know exactly where they stand and can predict with remarkable accuracy how they will respond to ethical challenges. Their integrity frequently manifests not in dramatic stands on major issues, but in the accumulation of small choices that reveal an underlying commitment to principle. They return the extra change when a cashier makes an error in their favor. They give proper credit to colleagues' ideas rather than claiming them as their own. They honor commitments even when more attractive opportunities arise. These seemingly minor decisions, observed over time, create a pattern that becomes impossible to dismiss or forget. Perhaps most distinctively, their integrity often comes paired with a conspicuous absence of self-righteousness. A Capricorn typically doesn't lecture others about ethical standards or position themselves as morally superior. They simply live according to their principles, allowing their consistent actions rather than their declarations to communicate their values. This quiet embodiment of integrity creates a powerful impression precisely because it doesn't demand acknowledgement or applause. The unforgettable quality of Capricorn integrity becomes particularly evident during ethical crossroads, moments when compromise would be easy to justify and might even seem rational from certain perspectives. In these situations, when they choose principle over expedience despite legitimate costs to themselves, they demonstrate a form of courage that leaves an indelible impression. These instances often become reference points in your own ethical reasoning, emerging in consciousness when you face similar dilemmas years later. Their unwavering integrity creates ripple effects that extend far beyond individual interactions. It establishes standards within groups, silently challenging others to examine their own ethical boundaries. It builds trust that facilitates deeper cooperation and more meaningful exchange. Perhaps most significantly, it creates stories, narratives of principle maintained despite difficulty that get retold long after the original situation has resolved, ensuring that the Capricorn's influence continues even in their absence. The 10th reason, unshakable calm during chaos. When the world fractures into chaos, when plans collapse, emergencies arise, or collective panic ensues, the Capricorn undergoes a remarkable transformation. While others accelerate into anxiety or freeze in uncertainty, the Capricorn seems to shift into an alternate mode of functioning altogether. Their voice becomes steadier, their movements more deliberate, their thinking more crystalline. This unshakable calm during chaos becomes unforgettable because it reveals itself precisely when it seems least possible, yet most necessary. What makes this quality particularly memorable is its stark contrast with prevailing responses to crisis. In moments when emotional contagion typically spreads anxiety through groups like wildfire, the Capricorn remains mysteriously insulated, creating a psychological anchor point that others instinctively gravitate toward. Their calm isn't the detachment of someone who doesn't care about outcomes. Rather, it's the focused presence of someone who cares enough to remain fully operational when clarity matters most. The Capricorn's calm manifests through multiple channels simultaneously. Physically, they maintain controlled breathing and deliberate movement while others fidget or rush. Verbally, they speak in measured tones, choosing words with precision rather than letting language spiral into catastrophizing. Cognitively, they retain access to their full mental resources, methodically assessing options, while others become cognitively constrained by stress responses. This multidimensional composure creates an almost palpable field of stability around them that others can sense and benefit from. What embeds this quality permanently in memory is how it transforms your own experience during crisis. In their presence, you find yourself borrowing from their calm, unconsciously synchronizing to their steadier rhythms. Your own thinking clarifies, your own breathing regulates, your own capacity for effective action expands. This profound shift in your internal state during high-stress situations creates a powerful association between the Capricorn and a sense of security that remains accessible even years later. When facing new challenges without their physical presence, you might find yourself internally channeling their composed approach, asking, what would they do in this situation? Their calm during chaos becomes particularly unforgettable because it often serves as the foundation for actual solutions rather than mere emotional comfort. While others might offer reassurance without substance, the Capricorn's composed state typically enables practical problem solving that addresses the crisis directly. This combination, emotional stability paired with effective action, creates experiences of genuine rescue rather than temporary distraction from difficulty. Such experiences leave lasting imprints on memory, particularly when the stakes involved were significant. The mystery of how they maintain this calm, how they resist being swept into the emotional currents that overwhelm others, becomes itself a source of fascination that keeps them present in thought long after the crisis has passed. You find yourself wondering about their internal processes, about the mental discipline or perspective that allows such composure when external circumstances seem to justify panic. This curiosity ensures they remain an object of reflection, a puzzle your mind returns to when considering questions of emotional resilience and crisis response. The 11th reason, thoughtful gifts. The gifts a Capricorn chooses reveal a dimension of attention and consideration that transforms the ordinary exchange of objects into something approaching art. Their selections aren't guided by convenience, price point, or conventional expectations. Instead, each gift emerges from careful observation of who you are, what matters to you, and what might create genuine value in your life. This thoughtfulness becomes unforgettable because it demonstrates a form of listening that goes beyond hearing words to understanding essence. What distinguishes their gift-giving is its remarkable specificity to the recipient. A Capricorn doesn't rely on generic presents that could be given to anyone. They identify something uniquely aligned with your particular interests, needs, or aspirations. This might manifest as a book by an obscure author whose themes resonate with conversations you've shared, a tool that perfectly addresses a challenge you're facing, or an experience that connects meaningfully to a goal you've expressed. This precision creates the powerful sense of being truly known, an increasingly rare experience in a culture of mass production and standardized experiences. The unforgettable quality of Capricorn gifts often extends beyond the initial moment of receiving into months or years of practical use or emotional significance. They typically select items or experiences with staying power, things that integrate into your life in ongoing ways rather than providing momentary novelty before being forgotten. This longevity transforms the gift from a transient pleasure into a persistent presence in your environment, ensuring that the Capricorn remains associated with something you value over extended time. Perhaps most distinctively, their gifts frequently demonstrate a level of research and effort that far exceeds conventional expectations. They invest time in investigating options, comparing alternatives, seeking the specific variant that best matches your needs or preferences. This investment becomes apparent in the precision of their selection, creating the powerful realization that you occupied significant space in their thoughts and planning well before the moment of giving. This extended mental engagement with your preferences and interests creates a form of care that feels substantially different from more spontaneous or conventional gift-giving practices. The thoughtfulness behind Capricorn gifts creates another unforgettable dimension. It establishes a standard of consideration that often reframes your expectations in all relationships. After experiencing the careful attentiveness reflected in their selections, more casual or generic gifts may lose some of their luster, regardless of monetary value. This shift in perspective ensures that the Capricorn's approach to giving remains a reference point against which other exchanges are measured, keeping them present in your evaluative frameworks long after specific interactions have ended. The 12th reason, selective vulnerability. The final quality that makes Capricorns truly unforgettable emerges not from their strength, but from carefully chosen moments of vulnerability. For those who know Capricorns only superficially, this dimension of their character might remain entirely hidden, obscured behind their composed exterior and practical focus. But for those granted access to their inner landscape, these moments of selective openness create connections of extraordinary depth and permanence. What makes their vulnerability particularly memorable is the clear intentionality behind it. A Capricorn doesn't accidentally reveal their deeper emotional realities or insecurities. They make conscious decisions about when, how, and with whom to share these aspects of themselves. This deliberate choice transforms vulnerability from passive exposure into active trust, a distinction that fundamentally alters the meaning of the exchange. When they allow you to see beneath their protective exterior, you understand implicitly that you've been evaluated as worthy of this trust, creating a profound sense of being admitted into a carefully guarded inner circle. The content of their vulnerability often reveals surprising complexity beneath their pragmatic surface. You might discover unexpected sensitivity, philosophical depth, or creative thinking that contrasts with their public persona. These revelations create a form of intimacy based not just on emotional disclosure, but on the sharing of a more complete self. one that encompasses both the capable exterior they present to the world and the rich interior landscape they protect from casual observation. This multidimensional understanding ensures they cannot be reduced to simple categories in memory. Their selective vulnerability becomes particularly unforgettable because it's typically shared without demand or expectation. Unlike vulnerabilities sometimes deployed as manipulation or bid for reassurance, the Capricorn's openness usually stands as simple truth-telling, offered without agenda beyond authentic connection. This quality creates emotional experiences free from the subtle transactional dynamics that often accompany intimate disclosures, establishing connections that feel unusually clean and meaningful. Perhaps most powerfully, the contrast between their typical self-containment and these moments of chosen openness creates a form of relational specialness that remains significant over time. The clear boundary between what they share generally and what they share specifically with trusted individuals establishes unmistakable categories of relationship. This clarity ensures that those admitted to their confidence understand the exceptional nature of their position, creating a sense of meaningful selection that becomes integrated into identity and self-understanding. The selective vulnerability of a Capricorn creates memories with unique emotional signatures, moments where strength and openness coexist without contradiction, where trust manifests as deliberate choice rather than uncontrolled impulse, where connection occurs through conscious sharing rather than boundary dissolution. These distinctive qualities ensure that such exchanges remain accessible in emotional memory long after other interactions have blended into generalized recollection. As we complete our exploration of the 12 reasons Capricorns become impossible to forget, we find ourselves with a portrait, not of perfection, but of profound integrity, a coherent character whose various qualities work in concert to create a presence that remains vivid in memory even after physical proximity ends. Their determination, quiet confidence, rare smile, practical wisdom, earned loyalty, surprising humor, detailed remembrance, methodical approach, unwavering integrity, unshakable calm, thoughtful gifts, and selective vulnerability combine to form not just a personality, but a standard, a reference point against which other connections are inevitably measured. In their absence, you find yourself noticing the spaces where their particular qualities would have made all the difference, the crisis that needed their calm, the challenge that could have benefited from their practical wisdom, the celebration that would have been enhanced by their rare but genuine smile. This ongoing relevance ensures they remain not just remembered, but actively missed, creating a persistent awareness of their value that defies the natural fading of memory over time. Throughout our exploration of the Capricorn nature, we've uncovered the 12 distinct qualities that make these Earth sign natives truly unforgettable presences in our lives. We've seen how their unwavering determination transforms obstacles into opportunities, demonstrating a persistence that reshapes our understanding of what's possible. Their quiet confidence has revealed itself as a gravitational force, not demanding attention, yet organizing everything within its field. We've glimpsed the rare but genuine smile that in its authentic scarcity becomes more precious than gold. We've witnessed their practical wisdom offering guidance that actually works in an imperfect world, creating a legacy of advice that remains relevant years after it's shared. Their earned loyalty has shown us what true commitment looks like when it's based on genuine evaluation rather than convenience or circumstance. Their surprising dry humor has revealed the complex inner landscape that exists beneath their disciplined exterior, reminding us that depth of character includes both seriousness and play. We've recognized their remarkable attention to detail about those they care for, demonstrating a form of listening that goes beyond hearing words to understanding essence. Their methodical approach to life has created islands of stability in a sea of chaos, providing foundations upon which others can build with confidence. Their unwavering integrity has established standards that challenge us to examine our own ethical boundaries, showing what's possible when principles are treated as non-negotiable rather than flexible guidelines. We've observed their unshakable calm during crisis, offering an anchor point when emotional storms threaten to sweep everyone into panic or paralysis. Their thoughtful gifts have demonstrated a level of consideration that transforms ordinary exchange into meaningful connection. And finally, their selective vulnerability has revealed the profound trust inherent in chosen openness, creating intimacy based not on accident, but on deliberate sharing of their carefully protected inner world. These 12 qualities combine to create not just a personality, but a presence that remains active in our mental and emotional landscapes long after physical proximity ends. The Capricorn doesn't just pass through our lives, they reshape them, establishing standards, perspectives, and approaches that continue influencing us even in their absence. This ongoing relevance ensures they remain not just remembered, but actively missed, creating a persistent awareness of their value that defies the natural fading of memory over time. If you found yourself nodding in recognition throughout this exploration, perhaps seeing reflected in these descriptions a Capricorn who has left their indelible mark on your own life, you're not alone. These remarkable individuals move through the world quietly building legacies of impact that often remain unheralded yet profoundly significant to those fortunate enough to experience their unique combination of strength and subtlety. We at Secret of the Zodiac believe deeply in creating content that resonates with your lived experience, content that helps you understand both yourself and those significant others who shape your journey. If this exploration of the unforgettable Capricorn nature has spoken to you, we invite you to join our community of cosmic explorers by subscribing to our channel. Each subscription enables us to continue creating in-depth analyses of the zodiac signs that move beyond superficial descriptions to the core qualities that make each sign truly unique. We also encourage you to browse our extensive library of videos covering all 12 signs in similar depth. Whether you're seeking to understand your own astrological makeup or gain insight into the significant people in your life, our content aims to provide perspectives that illuminate rather than simplify. Your engagement means everything to us. Please take a moment to like this video, helping others discover this content, and share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear about the Capricorns in your life. Which of these 12 qualities have you found most memorable in your interactions with them? What stories might you share about how they've influenced your journey? Your experiences enrich our collective understanding and create connections between viewers who recognize similar patterns. If you found genuine value in our content and wish to support the continued creation of these in-depth zodiac explorations, we warmly invite you to consider contributing through the Super Thanks feature. Your financial support directly addresses the considerable costs involved in producing daily content of this quality and depth. Each contribution, regardless of size, makes a tangible difference in our ability to maintain our publishing schedule and continue bringing you the thoughtful, nuanced astrological content you've come to expect from Secret of the Zodiac. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of the unforgettable Capricorn. Until our cosmic paths cross again in the next video, may the stars illuminate your understanding of both yourself and those remarkable individuals who leave permanent imprints on your soul.